So I'm going to go in on Taylor Summers. Are you a little shocked?
Did they receive a picture from anyone so that they could place it there?
Well, here's what I'm going to say to you. A number of these kids that are missing don't have pictures. So we're in a world of technology. So if you're going to have your child that's missing, you don't have a picture?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying to you on a logical basis. You've got a child that's missing, and then you have no picture. That makes no logical sense. And the fact of the matter is, what you're dealing with right here seems like the site isn't up to date.
Well, potentially, maybe they have been in contact with them, but they haven't been recovered. So is that maybe why they still have them out there? Because I see that Taryn's not out here.
Taryn is under endangered.
Oh, she's under endangered.
Uh-huh,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
I'll
you
look
speak
that.
it. The reason why I'm telling you this is I do this every day. Every single day. And I started doing this October of 2019. So I actually made this, not to just be a poster. I made this so that you can see how many don't have pictures. And the information is very sketchy. And so when I started making phone calls to a number of the law enforcements, the information was old, and I was having to call Colonel Will's office stating that this law enforcement agency said that the child's not missing anymore, or this information is not up to date, what's written. This is the reason why I ran for sheriff. I have 2 reasons why I ran for sheriff. Actually 3. The first reason is because our children are not being found across the country. This is not just Idaho. This is a pandemic. And the reality is, what we have going on in our personal state, including other states, is that there is no budget money, which is the reason why I ran on a congressional level, which is the reason why I ran on a federal level, federal and state, and running for county. So what we have to say to ourselves for your community, because the 3 of you are here to make sure that your kids are okay. I mean, that's what we do. 8 out of 10 families have kids in the families. So when a child goes missing, what is the protocol? Call the police. I mean, that's usually what most people are going to say. So when a child goes missing, call the police. How many alerts go off when a child goes missing? An Amber Alert only goes off if you see the predator, you can actually describe the predator, and or if you see the car and you can give a description of the car and some sort of license plate, but at least you can give a description of the car. So in our entire nation, 9 out of 10 children don't even have an alert that goes off. And this is our most precious commodity. The second reason why I ran for sheriff is the letter that I gave you. And that letter was dated December 10th of 2019. And I had made many attempts to speak with Sheriff Bartlett, Colonel Wills, the plethora of them. And this goes back many years because when I ran for Congress, we had a pandemic of suicide going on with our children in elementary school in our state. And if you research this, it's disgusting what's going on with the suicide. So when you have a child that's missing, it's not just human trafficking. So when I speak all over the country, when you think about a child that goes missing, all the different elements that can be in place when a child goes missing. So, they could have gotten hurt, they could have fallen off the side of a cliff, there's accidents that can happen. But when a child goes missing as a mother, first you're thinking murder, kidnapping, sexual torture, organ harvesting, all of these elements that just puts you in so much fear because you really don't even know where to start looking when a child goes missing. That's why a lot of them still continue missing. There's so many different elements. But in our state right now, we can make a difference. And that's what I'm here to do, is make a very big difference. We need funding by the millions and millions of dollars. And we're not going to get that by the county. It's not going to come by the state level. And it's not going to come by the federal level. It's going to have to come by private money. And the reason why private money is going to start coming into the pot to do this is because parents are getting scared to death. Now, I'm the one that took public nationally when Joshua and Tylee went missing in northern Idaho. You would have not known of that story if I did not do what I'm doing today. And it's not to make our state look bad. We are in a position right now with what happened in your city. You have an 8-year-old dead in a trash bag. I'm so sorry. But this is Idaho. You're not alone. Emmett is in Idaho. What we have the capabilities of doing right now is making sure that our children, that there's enough funding to figure out why they're missing. So it's obvious that the 14 and the 17-year-old, because I've been tracking the story, didn't know that they were relatives. But it's obvious there was something wrong. And especially when teenagers go missing, the majority of them aren't missing because they're bad kids. There was an element at home that was going on. You have a number of people who are business owners have been communicating with me that have known the family. But if we were really able to put the money in to see what was going on with the 14-year-old, to see what was going on with the 17-year-old, you can't just have them couch surfing. A 17-year-old, yeah, but not a 14-year-old. Something was going on in the home. All right? So this is the problem, is that we do not have enough money. A lot of the children that are missing are runaways. The fact of the matter is, why are they running away? And we don't have the money to investigate it, which why you have suicide, murder, and so on and so forth, because my child was one of them. So this is my daughter, Cameron Marie Gould. My daughter is currently 22 years old, on meth. Ran away many a times, did not know where she was. Now I'm going to tell you who her brother is. Her brother is Deputy Sheriff Jacob Jeffrey Gould of Ada County. My son molested my daughter starting at age 4.5 years old. He was put on suspension. His trial was here in Emmett. As a mother, I can tell the three of you, my son is not okay. And he's a deputy sheriff. So then if anything, you wonder what makes me do what I do? I'm a mom. I have 2 children that I birthed. And I have a son that's molesting my daughter because my son and my daughter were being molested on my husband's side of the family. And it's been a cover-up even to today. So I know you can feel my pain. Because I'm no different than John Walsh. And I will tell you, I don't stop. I do this every single day. Because the three of you want someone like me in your city, because there's parents that are going through what I'm going through right now and they don't know what to do until their children is dead, until their child is gone. Right now, I have no idea if I'm going to get a phone call that my daughter is dead. That's not a job. That's called a renegade mom. That's a mom that fights for her children. So while I'm at it, I'm going to fight for your children too. But I can tell you right now, you should not have a dead 8-year-old. So I'm going to be going throughout your city. I'm going to be reaching out to all your businesses, and I really appreciate the time, but the reality is my time is so valuable. I don't have the time to do this. I have the time to be a full-time mom and to figure out why my son is a deputy sheriff. Don't know. So lastly, you can know who I am. I contributed to our state. So in 2005, I don't know if you remember the economy changing in Idaho. Did you know that Idaho was, and I'm not doing it as a child to you, I'm saying, do you know that Idaho was picked the entrepreneurial state out of all 50 states? I was the girl pictured in the middle of the U.S. News and World Report. This was 30 million people in one day that knew who I was, because I was successfully, as a mother, able to start a company that went global. I'll show you the Idaho Statesman for a reason. I am picking Emmett. I am bringing all my companies back. I took a 10-year break because my children were being tortured and I was being tortured. I was abused as a mother. So this was the Idaho Statesman in 2009. I'd been in the Idaho Statesman almost every other week for what I did. So if you watch football, remembering when Boise State came out of nowhere, beat Oklahoma, that team was drinking a drink that I made. I made a drink bigger than Gatorade. How successful is that for you to have a woman in front of you that started a company from ground up? I'm literally an all-American story. That I started a drink and an ingredient and invented this ingredient to be able to save my son, like the Erin Brockovich story. Put all my heart into doing what I'm doing. And I end up with 2 molested children. The only thing I can do right now is pause with you and say to you, I cannot fix this problem. But what I can say to you is that we can bring on the community throughout Idaho. We can extend to the sheriff's office. We can extend to the police chiefs. They don't have enough money. What I would write down in your notes is to ask the sheriff, when a child goes missing, how much money do you have allocated to find that child? So what I'm going to bring is a national calling center of children that are missing. We need to get all the parents who currently have children that are missing in this state together, because there's a commonality with these parents. And the parents that are doing the wrong thing, like what happened here in your city, as a grandmother, do we really know what happened? We really don't know. Only God will ever know truly what has happened. We hope forensics can do everything that they can. But the reality is that home was not okay. And how many other homes in your city and in this state and in this country are not okay? We don't have the money to make sure that these children are okay. I've been in the system for 19 years. So I want to thank you for your time. I would hug each of you. I will wait until the pandemic is done. I'm very sorry what we have going on here.